Alright, this is going to be a video on talking about what could potentially be in line for Resident Evil 7. Now, none of this could be true. Could be. None of this could be true. I just find it fun to speculate. And I'm so hyped for Resident Evil 7 at the moment that I kind of really still want to talk about it. And put it out there of what I think they could do or stuff that could happen. Now with the demo, they've came out and said that it has no connection and it might not mean anything. But I think they're lying. I think it has it's a small portion of the game. This house is going to be in the game, but you're not going to be there all the time. It's going to be like, say, about 10-20 minutes of the game. I think you'll be in this house. I don't think all of it will be there, like the ghost girl. I don't think she's a ghost. I don't think she's a spirit. I think that's just in the demo to play with you, to scare you. I don't think she's actually a spirit. I mean, they could do. I'll get into why they could do that. But from what I think, I don't think it is, because if this is truly Resident Evil 7 and continuing the series, supernatural stuff will not make sense. Even though I wouldn't mind it being put in, I really wouldn't mind it at all. But it just wouldn't make sense, but it could happen. Now, I've got ideas of what they could do with the series. Now, I've got things written down here, and what I'm going to say is, if it's a reboot, I think this family that you're dealing with here, the bloke, the girl, probably more. You've got pictures in the house that could be members of the family. Obviously, you've got the bloke on the fireplace with his wife, potentially his wife. Obviously, that man is the man who punches you in the face and says, "Welcome to the family, son." Well, I'm certain of it. Looks like him. Obviously, a more cleaned up version of him. I think if this is a reboot, though, this is the new Trevor family. I think this is that girl who could be a supernatural ghost, or just a girl who's crazy, is Lisa Trevor. Could be Lisa Trevor, and obviously the bloke is, I forgot his name. I know it's just Trevor, but Trevor, whatever. Dad Trevor, man. And you see a photo. If you go up, like at the very top of the house, you see a photo. It's a helicopter. It's got the umbrella logo on it. And if you turn it over, it says, "Are they watching us from that helicopter?" Now, what this tells me is, if this is the new Trevor family, which I think it might be if it's a reboot, they've been experimented on by Umbrella, and Umbrella's been watching over them and basically spying on them. Maybe before they got experimented on. This is the results of after they've been experimented on, why they're so crazy. And why they went missing as well. Obviously, Umbrella probably were monitoring them, seeing how they could pick them apart, how they could pull them away and perform these experiments. I think that's what covers that up, really. And this could be obviously the start of the new Umbrella. Like, if it's a reboot, it could be the start of a new thing. You're playing as a character who doesn't know what's going on. But I'm going to get into the characters later on, and what I kind of want from the character, what characters / character, because it could just be one person, but I'm going to say characters because I want characters. I want in this game. Right, if it's a if it's a reboot, I think obviously the supernatural stuff is totally alright then, because it's a reboot, it's a new take on the series, a new thing. It's like what DMC was to Devil May Cry. People cried about DMC, and yet, the reason you can cry is it didn't need really rebooting. It didn't need it at all. But it's a reboot. You can't really cry. It's a different take on the series, and it was the same gameplay. There was nothing different. It was just different looking. It was more westernized than, Japanese anime. It was like an anime Devil May Cry 4. I don't know why I'm getting into Devil May Cry. But that's my example of, if they have more freedom if they do a reboot. It's obviously going to be horror. It's probably going to have some supernatural elements. But like I said, if I don't think it will be a supernatural girl. There you go. That's my take. If it's a reboot, because people can say from this video reply to it being like, "Oh, it's not a reboot because of it's called Resident Evil 7, and Capcom have already confirmed it's not. It's a Resident Evil 7. It's after Resident Evil 6." They can easily just go, "This game's a success. It's a reboot." That's why they've blended it in, I think. Because if it is a reboot, people look at it and go, "That's Resident Evil." And Capcom, people ask them, "Why did you put the colour in there later on down the line?" Oh, to cover it up. That's probably why they've like blended it into the word. So I think it is more chance of it being a reboot. That is my honest opinion. I think it will probably be a reboot. However, if it's not a reboot, this is what I think is going to happen. Well, what I want to happen, and I'm going to have to give credit to my brother here because he did actually come up with some of this. What I would say is Lisa Trevor, obviously the one from Remake. This is close to the Arclare Mountains. This is quite close to this area. And she went through the tunnel that bloke walks out of, the underground passage after you see Andre obviously impaled on the pole. Lisa came through there, met up with a new family. She was all mutated, so were they, so they were all messed up. And she's found a new family. They're all happy, even though they're psychos. Then this new family obviously already was messed up by Umbrella. It's all messed up. That's why they've got the photo there. That's why all this is happening. That's why they went missing for a while. Well, not missing, but like underground, because they were tending to Lisa. In the game, I would say you can go through that tunnel. It'll actually lead you to either a sanitarium that's pretty close to the mansion, but it's not right next to it. It's still quite a trek from the mansion to the sanitarium. And that's where you'll find, well, you could also do the remains of the lab. Even though that I don't think that really makes sense, because people probably would have went to check there after it blew up to see if there's anything there. So I say it's a sanitarium, right? And my brother's idea was the lab, and trust me, it would be awesome if you go back to the lab. But it might not make any sense, or it does make sense because it's Resident Evil. Who gives a fuck? Anyway, you find a sanitarium, or you go back to the remains of the lab. And now this is where I'm going to put a twist on it. The guy in the wheelchair that you see in the trailer, the guy who spins around in a wheelchair, everybody's saying he's Albert Wesker, right? What if he is? Now, I know what you're going to be thinking as I've said that. Albert Wesker, his head actually disintegrated by a rocket in the Resident Evil 5. What if that wasn't Albert Wesker? You could also bring in the twist of the Wesker children easily. This guy, say you could have him be, they said there's only 2 survivors, blah blah. What if there's a third one who we just don't know? You could easily twist it to here. There's a third one, and he would say when they were all done, he was jealous of Wesker, Albert Wesker. He wanted to be Wesker. So that Wesker is the one that Chris and Claire and Jill and blah 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 fought. And he's the one who died in the lava in the volcano. He wanted to be Albert Wesker. He was crazy. And they say the guy in the wheelchair, this is why I'm going to put a twist on it. The tyrant stabbed Wesker right through the stomach. Could have destroyed his spine, paralysed him from the waist down. That's why he's in a wheelchair. Albert Wesker could be back. The original Albert Wesker. No superpowers, none of that crap. He's just Albert Wesker. He hasn't got any superpowers. I know you could say, oh, but the Wesker, but no, they don't, because what's the name? He would have to inject a virus, but he doesn't have a virus available to him, because it was all destroyed and he needed it to escape. And people say, how did he get off the floor so fast? I don't know, it's Resident Evil. He can crawl across the floor at superhuman speed. He's got superhuman arm strength. But you could easily twist it. You put many twists on it, but that's what... If it's a non-reboot, that's the direction I would take it in. You bring the original Albert Wesker back, and he's not got any superpowers, and he's bound to a wheelchair, because he was paralysed from the waist down by the tyrant stabbing him. Boom. Now, the other thing is, you're just dealing with a hillbilly family, and it's a new story in the game, in the series. It's a hillbilly family, they've been hurt by Umbrella, that's it. There's no connection to the old games. It's a new story in the Resident Evil universe. Now you could take that to reboot section or non-reboot section. Now the characters that I want, obviously you've got the hillbilly family if they're in it. You've got them, whatever. The characters that I want is the characters in the tape recording. They're dead. You know they're dead because if you look at the guy you're playing as in the real world of the demo, he has a white shirt on. The guy who dies in is in the camera footage, has a blue t-shirt on when he falls to the floor holding Andre. So he's dead. You see him die when the woman gets hold of him at the end of the demo. This guy might not be dead, and this is what I'm going to get to. You've got the campaign with this guy. He doesn't know what he's doing. He's not that good. He's just using melee weapons. maybe does get it done. He has one campaign, about 5 hours long, right? He's harder and he's more. You've got to hide. You've got to pick your time to fight. You've got to choose. You can't just run in and go, I'm hard because I've got a weapon. No, he's actually quite weak. You've got to get stealth attacks. You've got to be sneaky. Then there's a second campaign where you're playing as a copper who's going, a police officer who's going, or detective who's going to this house to investigate. Investigate this missing person and the missing Jarvis, whatever his name is, going to investigate them being missing. So he goes to this house and he's got a gun to begin with, and he's obviously a bit more. He's not experienced with what's going on. He's still horrified by what he sees, and he's weirded out. So he's not some pro like Leon, where he's like, oh, I've seen all this before. He hasn't seen anything like this before. He's just a normal police officer. He's regular job. He's a regular detective dealing with murders, blah blah blah. And he goes to this place investigating, has a gun. He can deal with it a bit better. That's how I would say it. And obviously the gun helps him. So that's how I'd want it. One campaign on this guy who you play as the demo, where he doesn't really know what he's doing. He's scared. You've got to hide. Bit more like Outlast, but with weapons. Then the cop comes in. Is another campaign in the game. These will interlock. You'll meet with the two characters every now and then, and you'll get the opportunity. Obviously, they'll talk to each other. They might split. They'll split up. No, they won't split up, but they'll get forced to split up because if this copper found this guy, I guarantee he wouldn't just split up with him. But that's what I'm getting at. Like, they're forced to split up. They interlock. They meet up every now and then. This is me trying something, by the way, trying to get out of the house. Just didn't work. One campaign shooting. One campaign you don't get guns at all. Maybe you get a pistol at the end. But that's it. That's how I would want this new Resident Evil 7 to go. So let me just put in the comments if you like what you hear, if you've got any ideas of your own, if you and just discuss, just speculate. It's fun to speculate, and none of this would happen because some of it is too good to be true. So thanks for watching, and whatever.